Yeah, I think it is one of the most versatile racing shoes on the market. So it does feel good from anywhere from 5K to the marathon. Testing's complete and the scores are in, and this is the full review of the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 3. But before we get into it, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So it's a neutral road racing shoe, and this is just one of the racing shoes that Puma has got in its range. Now, priced pretty well here in Australia, so $320, $230 in the US. Now in the weight, really light package here, 202 grams or 7.1 ounces in a men's size 9. Now in the stack, we've got 40 in the rear, 32 in the front, 8mm drop, and that obviously makes this shoe legal for those World Athletics regulations. Now for the scores. Now in Australia, this is the cheapest super shoe on the market from the big brands. Absolutely amazing. That's why it's getting 8.5 out of 10. And with the weight, it's also one of the lightest shoes on the market. Love the weight here, 9 out of 10. And with our upper material that they're using is called Ultra Weave. Now it's a bit of a weird material, you don't see it in too many other shoes on the market. It's scratchy to the touch and the breathability is, or it's not that good compared to the other super shoes on the market. And again, it's not that flexible as well. However, it still does a good job. It's got a bit of Puma tape on there to give it some structure, but it still does a good job to hug securely around the foot. Flimsy heel counter here at the back and a minimal amount of padding. So the padding is covered by this felt type material, but it's pretty comfortable around the heel collar. I've had no dramas here. With our tongue is not gusseted and it's made out of a felt type material, so it's really soft. It looks like it would soak up a lot of sweat, but I haven't really had an issue with it like soaking up a lot of sweat, so I'm complaining about it but haven't experienced it yet. There's one big sort of pad in the middle of the tongue to take that laces pressure off, which I really like, and it's cut nicely, this tongue. It's got the wing fit cut at the top, so it just sits nicely on top of the foot. Lacing system, pretty standard, but they use these really long, they've got a bit of stretch to them, but they feel like they're made out of felt, these laces. Again, they look like that they would really soak up the sweat, but again, I haven't had an issue with that. Now the lockdown in this shoe, pretty good. So I had a bit of an issue at the start when I first started running in this shoe in just one of my feet. Fixed that up, so I'm having no issues with the lockdown. Overall, it's a pretty comfortable shoe, but in the fit, so this fit is long. So, and it's got to do, or that's a common theme with a lot of Puma shoes. So when you go your true to size, it's just the toe box is a bit pointy and there's a little bit too much length. So you could come down half a size, but only if you've got a narrow foot. So I don't really have a narrow foot. I think mine's on average. So I can't come down half a size because then the shoe would just be too thin. But yeah, the shoe is quite long in the fit. So just be wary about that. Build quality here from Puma, it's pretty good as well. No like glue or loose threads or anything coming out. Pretty happy here. But scores wise here in the upper, overall I don't really like the Ultra Weave. There's certainly much better materials that they could use, especially materials that are much more breathable. 7.5 out of 10. And in the outsole, so the rubber that they're using here is, you guessed it, Puma Grip. So Puma Grip is absolutely amazing. Probably one of the market leaders, especially in the grip department. So we got good rubber coverage here, pretty much the entirety of the forefoot there, as you can see. But they've got a bit of a slit here just to let that midsole splay up around the forefoot, adding to the ride. They've got some rubber in the high wear areas at the back here as well. And they've also got like a bit of a wave looking tread pattern on the bottom. But as I said, grip is outstanding. Like, you can't really beat Puma Grip. We've got lots of exposed foam through the middle of the shoe here, and then right in the middle you can see the exposed carbon plate. Now in the durability department, the little lugs or the little waves do wear down quite fast, but it doesn't affect performance at all. Puma Grip, it's amazing. The bottom of this shoe performs amazing. 9.5 out of 10. And in the midsole, so the foam that they are using is their premium race day foam, of course, because this is a premium race day shoe. So it's their Nitro Elite foam, so 2 layers of that. So they've got a nice big top layer, so really soft feeling foam, lots of squish to it and a good amount of bounce to it as well. And then under that, they have got their power plate full length, which is their carbon plate. So it starts quite high up in the shoe, and then it swoops down quite aggressively, and it finishes quite low to the ground. So pretty interesting carbon plate placement in this shoe. And then under that carbon plate, they have got just a bottom layer of that Nitro Elite foam. Now, how stiff is this shoe? So in comparison to other carbon plates, it's probably one of the more flexible carbon plated racing shoes. So it's not super stiff, but it's still pretty good. Now in the geometry, we've certainly got a 4-foot rocker here, and it starts about here, as you can see there. So just under where the toes meet the rest of the foot on that ball joint there. So it's probably engineered obviously to the faster paces, so it's certainly up towards the performance part of the shoe, and you really feel the effects of the rocker more when you're running at some quicker paces. But I think the rocker is in a really nice spot here. If you're familiar with some other shoes, it's probably somewhere in between the Metaspeed Sky Paris and the Metaspeed Edge Paris. So it's probably, about in the middle between those two shoes. And in the ride, so the first word that comes to mind with this shoe is bouncy. So there is a lot and lots of enjoyable bounce in this shoe, lots of energy return, and it's quite soft as well, but it's not soft where it feels sluggish. It's bouncy soft. So yeah, you do sink into this foam quite a bit, but there is a good amount of energy return, a good amount of bounce. It's a very comfortable ride as well. So this nice soft foam does a great job to take the pounding out of the road. Perfect for those longer races and also longer sessions on your feet. Now with the rocker, as I mentioned before, it's certainly engineered towards more the performance, but I think you get the most out of this rocker at about the half marathon pace. So you need to be sort of up on the toes, but overall it's a pretty versatile ride because this rocker certainly accommodates the faster paces, like going up around 5K, but it certainly feels really good around marathon pace as well, because that foam in the ride is just so soft, and it's still quite easy to get onto the rocker. The good thing about this rocker is it's not too aggressive. So I know some shoes out there like the Endorphin Elite, I can't really get onto those rockers because they're too late in the shoe. This one's still late, but it's still quite easily, and I think it's going to accommodate a lot of runners out there. But yeah, one of the better super shoe rides on the market. Really enjoyable. I absolutely love it. 9 out of 10. And best shoe, so as I just covered there, I think it is one of the most versatile racing shoes on the market. So it does feel good from anywhere from 5K to the marathon. So it's gonna really serve you well, and it feels great at all those paces, and obviously your faster workouts as well. So some other options or some competition if you are considering this shoe. So first one I'll mention is the Asics Metaspeed Sky Paris. So pretty similar ride, however it's just a little bit firmer, the Asics ride, and the geometry on the Sky Paris is a little bit late. So the rocker's just a little bit later, so that one's going to probably feel better at faster paces more so than this one. I think this shoe's still a little bit more bouncy. The other one is the Nike Vaporfly 3, so a big fan favourite, nice and light, pretty versatile super shoe there as well. And the last one I'll mention is the Asics Metaspeed Edge. So again, the foam is probably most similar to the Puma over that Zoom X in the Vaporfly. However, the difference between this shoe and the Edge is that the geometry in the Edge, its rocker starts a little bit further back in the shoe. So that's got to accommodate just a different style of runner, and also for me, it accommodates for me, it feels better, sorry, at those slower paces. And just wrapping it up here, so as you can see by the scores, this is an amazing shoe. It certainly took me by surprise. This ride, really comfortable, good amount of bounce, good amount of responsiveness. The geometry is just right. I think a lot of people are going to get along with this shoe, and that's certainly reflected by the scores. Yeah, it's a legit racing shoe though. This has definitely, you have to try this one on if you're in the market for another racing shoe. So if you've got a chance, go down to the store and just try a few on, but don't count this one out because it is an amazing shoe. Really, really love it. So saying that, definite buy from me. But anyway, guys, that is it. Hope you liked that one. Any questions regarding the Deviate Nitro Elite 3, please let me know in the comments below. And also, if you want to know how it compares to anything else or anything else I haven't covered in a video, please, again, just ask me in the comments below. But anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.